Hi, I'm Cecily. For those that don't know me, and I'm a facilitator, I lead workshops, and I'm an executive and leadership coach. Um, I had a great conversation with my friend Steph Corker this morning. We check in once in a while just to see like what's happening in your life and how are you developing yourself lately. Last week we sent each other some webinars that we were on, and we learned a ton about marketing, about building business. And it's really nice to have these people in your life that you just kind of check in with. So today, the thing that came up for us in our conversation is around development. And throughout our lives, we constantly have these choices to make around what do we want to do? How can we evolve? And I do want to say that that's something that I typically do often. And maybe I take it a bit for granted every week. I like to evolve. I like to develop. I know there's a lot of resources out there and it can get really overwhelming and noisy. I love the noise. And I guess it's because I do find myself to be a bit of an introvert. So I like to go inwards a lot and reflect on myself and what I'm sensing and what I'm feeling. You know, I like to do big development journeys, and I also like the little ones, the ones that are a bit more tangible, that are here. And I don't get carried away with the noise, I guess. Like I don't get drawn into doom scrolling, as people call it. I like to just put it out there. I like to see what people are doing. I like to learn from people. I like to hear what others are really inspired about. A couple of years ago, I did a master's in executive and organizational coaching, and that was incredible to meet people. I was on the board of the International Coaching Federation. I learned a ton around boards and people and leadership. And then I guess recently, I'll say this week, how I'm developing myself is I'm jumping on this course called Strengths Deployment Inventory from Crucial Learning. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to be getting certified in SDI, Strengths Deployment Inventory, to take people and teams through their strengths. And so I'm really excited. I'm going to be a learner. I guess that's the secret here is that I like to often put myself in the seat of a learner. And when I'm in the seat of a learner, it allows me to facilitate more and to be a coach. Um, and continue this growth cycle. A book is a great way to learn and develop yourself, a podcast, a recording. And so I guess this week I'd like to ask you, how are you developing yourself this week? I not only um, like to be inspired by you, but I think it's worth sharing so everyone can kind of see how do other people develop themselves. It could be through a workout. I went to a yoga class this past Saturday with Nikki Doan from Maya Yoga in Maui, and she flew to Vancouver. She led a workshop. I was only able to do the Saturday morning class, and she kept saying this thing, and I need to go ask her what it was around deepening in the poses and being there. And I like needed that wake up. I went in with a really sore left neck, which I hear was about obligations for those in the somatic world. And I was like, okay, I got to release obligation. It's never going to happen. Two teenagers, a home, a husband, a dog, life. And yet, she also said that poses are about integrity. And being in the integrity of a pose is taking that off the mat into the world and integrity in the world. So, how you lift weights is how you're going to be in the world, how you're going to do business. So, I want to encourage you to know you don't have to go sign up for a course. You don't have to be on all these webinars. That takes lots of time and energy and money. I know all that. It could be the smallest thing around forest walks. Maybe that's developing yourself. Breathing, that could be developing yourself. Maybe it is a podcast. So, how are you developing yourself? I would like to hear. Thanks so much.